All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Ready to Love in Miami. So if this is content that you enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications,
And share.
and we'll see you in the comments. And you also can become a member. There's a join button somewhere right around there. And so make sure you're hitting that join button to become a member, because members have privileges. And we also are looking forward to doing some live streams, member exclusive live streams.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So fellas are in control this week.
Are they in control this week? Can you get it out?
Hopefully they are. They figure it out. But Tommy pulls the men in, of course, to the lounge, and he's like, y'all are making this harder than it needs to be on these ladies.
Like,
these ladies can't figure y'all out.
Like, what's up with these Miami dudes? They look slow, getting started
they
here.
Move a little differently than
So, okay. And I get it, right? Tommy's saying, look, we're almost halfway through the process. We need to see some momentum out of you.
Yes.
Are you interested in these ladies or not? Did we make good picks or not for you guys? So we need you to step up, step out. Let's do a little romance, get it going.
I mean, you got Justice, who just now got a number. There's 6 guys left, and he's just now getting a number to have a conversation. So he's like, you guys get back what you put in. So if you're putting in nothing, you're getting nothing back. So their assignment this week is to have romantic, intentional, thoughtful dates. In other words, come correct or don't come at all.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Tommy's reading the room.
Yeah.
And he's trying to he's like, the whole goal here.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, no matter how it's transpiring, if he's feeling like it's being, directed, your goal is still to find a really lifetime connection.
Right. But our boy Samson's like, oh, y'all slipping. He's like, I've been providing gifts. I've been making intentions known. Y'all slipping.
Samson like, up your game to my game. Me and Tommy on the same page.
Like, come up to my level, bros.
All y'all other brothers, I don't know what you're doing, but my game is tight.
Hey. So he does say Tommy says that at the end of the week, they're all going to come together. So it's not going to be just, we're going to have a lounge, elimination. We're going to all come together. We're going to air out some stuff.
Yeah, dirty.
We're going to get real, get funky real. So, all right. So Charisse and LJ go on a date, which is an interesting pairing.
And he took her salsa dance.
He did. Yes.
For lessons.
Yes.
Let me say that.
He brought her roses. LJ, I think, has been intentional in some respects, right?
Right, in his own way.
Yes.
There's ways you can be intentional and still make it personal.
Yes.
And so LJ, for him, he's like, okay, she's a lady. I'm going to bring her roses. Mm-hmm. And so he gives her roses. And obviously, she's just like, oh, she loves the roses. And they start to do their salsa lesson.
Yes.
And we find out very quickly, or LJ finds out very quickly.
Charisse can't dance. She can't dance. She got 3 left feet. She just...
LJ's like, okay.
Stiff.
But this is the way, you loosen up and you get to know someone. And so LJ's really put in a lot of effort. So after...
Too much effort.
After the lesson happens, LJ tries to hear about her week. Like, so what you have going on? How's it going?
It's going okay.
And she's like, I got to work a little bit. I got it.
She was dry. She was drier than Popeye's biscuits.
And LJ's like, in his one-on-one, side interview, he's like, I'm really trying to get something more out of her. And I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying. He said, I feel like I'm putting in the effort to try to really make a deeper connection, and she's not giving me anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, so what do you want to do afterwards? And she's like, whatever you want to have planned. So I get you want them to lead the date. So sometimes maybe giving 1 or 2 options, like, well, I was thinking this or that, might help draw that person in.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the problem with that. He already did something on his own to say, let's go salsa dancing,
That's
right?
true.
So he already came up with something
That's
that
true.
evidently she's never done because she can't dance, right?
That's true.
So now he's trying to get to know her better and trying to connect and saying, hey, what are some things that you like? Where would you like to go on another date? So yes, you might want, if somebody's asking you out for the first time, for them to show who they
Initiate
are, initiate, do what they're going to do.
something
But
else.
now that we're having a conversation, now we've gone out on a date. I shouldn't have to always be like, well, I'm going to be spontaneous on every day. I want to find out what you want to do. What is it that you enjoy, right? Because that's going to let me know whether or not we want to continue, because I want to see if there's matches there. But if everything, now you still want to have spontaneity throughout the relationship, absolutely. But if he's asking, what do you like to do? Where do you like to go? What's your ideal date? He's asking because he wants to know kind of what pushes your buttons, if you will.
Well, she didn't give him nothing. And maybe she's not really interested in him. And that's her way of showing that she's really not interested in him. So,
Or as we would say, she fake. Go ahead. She fake.
I wouldn't.
She fake.
That is definitely your opinion.
Y'all let us know. If you remember, you got the emojis. Let us know if you team Kevin on this or team Tarsha on this.
Well, they only got the emojis if they remember,
right. So if you remember, you got that. Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you team Kevin, team Tarsha, but she fake.
So, would do you rather her come out and say, "Well, I'm really interested in you at that time. I think we have a friendship, but I don't want to feel like we need to be going out on any more dates."
I think LJ can read the room. I think LJ is like, look, let me go ahead and take my interest elsewhere. Sorry. I think LJ is like, okay, I tried. You stiff, you dry, you can't dance. I need somebody else. Next.
And granted, he deserves to have something where he is connected to, and he tried.
He tried.
At least
he put forth the effort.
He put forth the effort.
I give him an A for effort.
He did what Tommy asked,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to stay in this longer to see if he can find something.
Yes.
So good for LJ.
Keep looking, bro. Move around. Just help. I'm helping you. Help yourself. All right.
Moving on.
So then, because I have other thoughts too, but
I bet you do.
We might cover that in a members only live stream. All right. So Randall and Jamala, they go on a date. They go on a candle making date, which is pretty cool.
Correct. Because he's called.
That ninja's name is Randall. His name is Randall. I will always refer to him as Randall. I'm not going to call him anything else because his name is Randall. Hey. I don't know what they called him. You figure that out.
Rah-rah. That's what they call him, rah-rah. So rah-rah
says boomba.
Looks like.
So he goes on the date with Jamala, but he's like, I'm still feeling Trinika and Kayla. So he got options, right?
Too many options.
So they make candles. He slyly asks about, who's your number 2, your number 3, what have you. She dodges the answer. It's like, I'm only seeing my 1 and 1 right now. So she knows how to play that game of, let's not talk about what else is going on with other relationships. Let's focus on you and I. And she's feeling him.
Oh yeah, she's to the point where she's like, okay, so who do you normally bring home to your mama?
And he does say that she reminds him of his mother, that she's similar to his mother, which can be good and bad, right?
It could be. I know he says that basically he indicates that she's funny and that she has drive.
And that she would get along with his mother.
Right. And that always works out well for someone who's looking for someone who wants some of the same qualities.
True.
As their mother.
True.
So I feel like that puts her in a certain category.
Right.
And he feels comfortable with her and he has fun with her.
Yes.
So it's not like he's losing out.
True.
But for me, I'll be like, well, what do you see in me that you don't see in others? Because she needs to really figure out from him.
What's the differentiator?
Right. what's going to make me stand out beyond these other young ladies? So we don't see any of that happening. But she's really trying to tell him up front how she's feeling.
Yeah. So they do this thing that she had some labels made for the candles of the phrase olive juice. And they explain that olive juice, when you just mouth it, it looks like you're saying, I love you. Right? Cute.
I think it was a cute idea. So she can have it on their candles. So whenever they use their candles.
It's an inside joke that they will always know. And if something does, move further with them, it's something that's, a cute reminiscent thing, right? But she's being intentional. She's making her feelings known. She's making her attraction known. She's making that all known. She asks, could you fall in love, and are you falling in love? And I can't remember if he gave a response, but he did kiss her.
He did kiss her. I don't think he responded the way she wanted him to respond.
Right.
Obviously, because he still got two ladies in the back of his head.
Well, but they did say olive juice to each other.
They
right.
did.
Which again is their way of saying I love you. So I guess that was her answer. But in his aside, he did, like you said, he was like, yeah, but Trinika and Kayla, they're still on the table.
But we're coming close to the end. He's going to have to make some decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you need to put those questions in his head. Like, what do I like about you specifically compared to the other ladies? So I can, make those hard. It's a hard decision.
It's a difficult decision. He's got some choices, right?
Yeah, Robert got some work to do.
So Randall has some options. All right, moving on. Swayze, Justice, Looney, and Shakira have a trampoline workout date.
Yes.
In the middle of the park.
In the middle of the park. Swayze wants to see somebody sweat.
Yeah, he like, let me see some things jiggle and jump, right? Justice shows up in like a linen suit or something.
He in Miami Vice gear. If you know what Miami Vice is. Or if you don't, check it out on YouTube.
And we're not talking about that Jamie Foxx Miami Vice movie. We're talking the original,
the original OG
Miami Vice
with Philip Michael Thomas.
Yes, and whatever the other guy's name was, Crockett. Well, that was the character he played.
Oh, what was his name? What's his name? Don
Johnson.
Don Johnson.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So that's what he was looking. Miami Vice.
Trying to do that. Yeah.
You think he was trying?
He was trying. But it was like
everybody coming
because everybody comes in workout gear and he's strolling up like.
And Swayze like, there's my attorney. He's here. My attorney's here. I'm like, you couldn't even put on some shorts and a t-shirt?
Workout pants, something, bruh.
It's like, was he coming from an event? Can't you swap it out real quick? I'm like, what are we doing
Have your go bag in the back of your car, right? A lot of folks, a lot of brothers will keep a ball and some gym shoes and some workout gear in case they find a game. He needed to have something in his trunk, right?
Justice is like, I work out, but I ain't working out like this. I'm not doing it.
So they are working out. They're doing the whole trampoline thing. And Justice is over there.
And so the instructor go, all right, bro. All right, what's going on here? You messing up my You messing up the instructions right here.
My back. Oh, my back. My back, bro.
Got a little bit of back pain, man. So, all right. So you stay over there with that.
Yeah. So I think it was because if you notice some of the other clips out of that, Justice had kind of moved around to watch the scenery from the back.
Oh, that's what you think was going on?
Justice was not interested in jumping and getting on that trampoline. Justice did, though, make his way around to the back of everybody else to see what was happening from the behind view. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay. I didn't pay that much attention to his clips where he was.
It was because everybody else is doing their thing, and you just see him in the back. So, they kind of break off. Justice and Looney go talk. Right, and she says that he's an unexpected but real connection. So Justice at least has, because we know his thing with Katie and did not work out, right? So Justice at least has Looney as an option for himself. And that's one that he is now seems to be somewhat intentional
And
about.
Tranika, isn't her name?
Trinika's interested. I don't know if he's so much interested in Tranika.
Oh,
That's just my thoughts.
okay.
But he does seem to let Looney is a connection, and she's interested in him, right?
She's interested in him.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes, right? We're still up in the air about where Justice is and if he's really ready for love.
Yes.
And to really move forward with someone,
Yeah.
Or is he going to see you when he sees you?
Right. And he'll call you whenever you call him.
Correct.
Swayze and Shakira break off and they talk. And he was like, I wasn't the first time, it wasn't really there. But maybe I have a chance to understand her a little more. And so she brings up the white party. She brings up what happened as far as
she's trying to clear the air.
Yeah. But yes, she's trying to clear the air, but she focuses more on I had to leave. I wasn't feeling well because of what happened with Katie and spilling her truth, right? And she says that is hard for her to navigate this whole thing because she thinks that some people are taking it as competition, and unfortunately that's what we see a lot of times in Ready to Love, is that you have a lot of folks that are taking this, not a lot, but you have enough folks that are taking this as competition and trying to better themselves at the expense of others.
I hear that, but also you came there for love.
True.
So obviously, in some sense, you are competing for someone's love.
Yes, I know Pat Benatar said love is a battlefield. I get that.
So with that being the case, you have to also realize that I'm not here to make friends.
True.
I am really here to find a connection. But if someone else finds the connection, how am I going to stand out for my connection?
But do you really stand out by putting someone else down, or do you stand out by showcasing where your strengths are?
No, and that's where the difference comes in that you're describing. The difference between someone who's trying to do things to undermine you,
right,
and then those who are here to say, "Look, I'm here for love." And yeah, in some senses, we are competing for that love.
True.
But I'm not going to do anything that's going to make you look bad, to make me highlighted, to feel like that's what's going to get me. Because at the end of the day, that won't work.
And I think that's what she's referring to, is the competitiveness from that aspect. That there are people like she has the opinion, in my opinion, of Katie, and saying that to make her look bad in front of others to make herself look good.
Right. And then we'll find as it go on, she just moves back from everybody. That's the thing. You got to be able to know how to move, though.
Yeah. And so she does, or excuse me, so Swayze does say, he's like, this may be too much for her. She needs to heal. And we've been saying that since the moment she had that outburst in the ladies' lounge.
Sure did.
She came on the show too early.
And I appreciate Swayze taking the time to say, you know what, we didn't originally connect, so let me find out what's going on with this girl.
Right.
And to be able to listen and hear it out, he was able to discover that.
Yeah.
So, ups to Swayze.
Yeah, ups to Swayze. All right. So Samson goes on a date with Brandy, and he brings her a gift. Samson is intentional, it seems, of his date. Right. He didn't just get a cookie cutter gift. He's like, you travel, so journal or whatever it was. It was a book to kind of keep notes in and keep, memories in. So again, he's tailoring things to the individual, and he's trying to be intentional about his time with them. So he's been to the restaurant before, because he starts talking about the Chardonnay and how it's very dry and it's off the palate. And she's like, how you know that? He's like, I've been here before. I done had that wine. It's good.
And you want to take people where you've been before, where you feel comfortable. And he wants to showcase who he is.
Yes.
So I think we need to figure out why Samson ain't married. I'm sorry. Because we got all this going for us, but it's not ending in this long-term relationship he's looking for.
Are there secrets that Samson's hiding?
I don't know if there's anything he's hiding, but I think there's something that he needs to discover.
Samson ain't got no hair. He done had his Delilah moment, it seems. He lost his mojo.
He had lost his mojo.
All right. So But she says she's not been in a real relationship.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why. Uh, because he asked her, "Have you ever been engaged?"
Hmm.
And she's like, "Nope." And she's like, "I just never found anyone who was being serious enough with me."
Yeah.
And with that being the case, I'm wondering, is she always picking her type? So is Mike her type?
Ooh.
Or does she need to be looking outside the box? Because if Mike is just wanting a good time, again, I believe she wants to get married, if I
Right.
understand. She does want to have kids.
Hmm.
But if you're still picking the same type where they just want to have fun, oh, you're a good time, you're so easygoing because we don't have those deep conversations.
Right.
So what is she going to do to take her next relationship in a deeper level
Yep.
if you're looking for some long term instead of all these people who only want these short fun things because we're never that serious. You don't call me on my stuff. Like those
Hmm.
things that make people, I feel, step up to say, are we going to be together or are we going to just keep having fun?
Yeah. So that's a good question as far as Mike. We might just go back and look into that and see kind of what she said about Mike already, if that's her type that she normally deals with. Because yeah, if she's never been in a relationship and she's going for the one that automatically is like what she's been with before, is she setting herself up for failure? We'll see. But she asked him when was the last time he was in a relationship, and he's like, okay, in a relationship or
Right.
in love. Um, and she's like, "Oh, good question." So he kind of talks about his last love relationship, that she was vulnerable, that they grew together, but they mutually agreed to separate, and he felt that she prepared him for his wife. So Samson again seems to be intentional, at least about learning through his relationships, as far as we can tell.
As far as we can tell.
So all right, so then Mike and Kayla on the other side of town um, go to a pool hall. And he says, Brandy's my reality. But Kayla,
She's my video
she's my video vixen
vixen.
fantasy. She's just a fantasy, an image in a. Yeah. All right. So,
I was like, okay. I was like, that's interesting
why is that interesting?
because why would she be the fantasy? If you're really liking the first person and you're digging her, why she's not the fantasy? Are he saying that's the person I feel like that I'll never obtain, the one in the video?
I I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't read his mind, but
No,
that's why I say it's interesting that he's saying like, I know I can get, it's almost like he's saying, I know I can get Brandy, but Kayla is out of my league, so I only can fantasize about having that.
that may be it. I don't know. I can see it. He said it,
Because those terms, because the video vixen, right? That's when you're in, like, you see the video, like, dang, that's a baby. I wish I
but
could.
and that's what I don't get because they're both attractive. They're both. Neither one of them is like I would say a lesser version, if you will,
That's what
right?
I'm saying. I don't see either one of them out of his league.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting he used those terms.
Now their personalities, Kayla seems to be more assertive
Mm-hmm.
than Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that Brandy's not assertive, but Kayla has
Kayla uses her strength, her womanhood in a different way than
yes,
Brady does.
yes. So yeah, so he says that it was like we'll see, but then they basically say that they're going to bet kisses on the pool game. But Mike does something stupid. Mike don't know how to play pool evidently because the white ball is the one that you hit to knock into the other balls. Mike is like just hitting balls. He just like, look, let me hit this blue one, let me hit this red one. Mike just hitting regular. And she calls him on it. She's like, you do know how to play this, right?
Maybe that's why she might be out of his league.
She might be out of his league. So,
He pretended
oh yes, he's a great pretender. All right.
that he got something going on, but maybe Maybe like, no. Now that you mentioned it about the cue ball, because I was looking at it too, I was like,
Yeah.
she's like, what you doing? How you going to ask me to come somewhere you don't know how to play?
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, you've done this before. And she's like, "Mm."
And yeah, she looked like she got her own cue stick that she got in the back of her trunk somewhere. Like,
Pulling out
remember
of the
when Uncle
cave.
Phil came on the Fresh Prince and with what was it, Bertha? She looked like she had that kind of energy. Like she could do that. But he also makes another mistake. He asks, "Okay, what's going on with you and Randall?" And she's like, "Joker, I don't want to talk about Randall." And then he's like, "You got to watch out for Jamala. Why are you in your date with the one that's your video vixen fantasy, right? Why are you, one, checking out what's going on with her and another man, and then giving her tips on how to secure that man by telling her to watch out for the other woman? You ain't making sense, bro. Not.
Yeah, maybe this is starting to add up. I'm starting to add. Starting to add.
Yeah. So she wins, evidently. So then, comes times to pay up on the kiss, right? And he says he got to put tape on his lips because basically he's like, you've been kissing everybody, and the coronavirus is still out here. Monkeypox is still a thing, is now a thing. Polio's back.
Shut up.
I got to put tape on your lips to make sure I don't get anything. And she was kind of like,
He didn't say.
he didn't say it to her,
He didn't say that.
but he was kind of like pulling back for her.
I'm gonna go right back and go like, what? That's so
Listen, I'm
smooth.
trying to read his mind
He's
because
trying to read
he
his
like,
mind.
look, but he did say he got to put tape on his lips.
He
He did say
did
that.
say that because you've been kissing everybody. He did say that. And then I'm like, she's like, well, why you made the bet? So what's the problem? Do you want some of this or not? Because you accepted the bet.
Yes.
So he ends up kissing her on the cheek.
Yes. So
I'm like, dude. I'm like, are you trying to say you jealous? I'm like, oh,
this is a process, right?
it is.
It's
And
a
you got to
process.
date multiple people.
Right.
And you have to be secure in who you are.
Yep.
And to me,
And stop worrying about what's happening with other dates, with other relationships. Work on your relationship, build that so that they're not concerned about the other relationships.
because he wasn't showing his security.
No. Mm-mm. So then Samson, Katie, and Swayze, Mike, Trinika, and Charisse all go roller skating.
I've been roller skating.
It's been a minute since I went roller skating.
Ooh, since school days.
Yeah, my church used to go roller skating every Christmas. We'd have a
Really?
skate outing for the church.
Yeah, since we've been in school, that's the last time I've been roller skating.
Yeah, I don't miss it. I'm good.
Yeah, too old to be in there breaking bones.
Yeah, I might be like Justice, be like my back. All right, so Katie is like, yeah, Charisse is over there. I ain't trying to mess with her because
they haven't met since the lounge.
Yeah, we still got that tension.
We got some beef.
And I'm not trying to be that person on national TV. I'm
beating
not
her
trying
weave
to
out.
take off earrings and wrap my hair up. Not doing it. We also see that Mike can't skate. Charisse can't dance. Mike can't skate. Like, not that he's not good at it. He can't. He's literally just bad. And I was concerned for Trinika because she still got her broken wrist.
She does. So, but she was handling her own pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Your boy Samson fell.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, are you talking about Samson falling?
Well, no, I was concerned about Trinika because she has a broken wrist.
Oh.
And just a natural concern, right? She's out there, right? But Samson falls because evidently he was mesmerized by Charisse.
Hey, everybody has their type.
They do.
And so he was trying to chase her, but he didn't get far. So they had to come back and rescue him.
Should have rescued him before he went chasing. But all right. Anyway, so Samson and Charisse do go have conversations. And that seems to be a good connection for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
She, as she at least is a little more interactive than she was with LJ.
That's why I was saying maybe she doesn't care for LJ. So with Samson, they seem to be really vibing. They're talking about their backgrounds, their families, and different things like that. Because I think he was saying he lost his dad at an early age.
Yes.
Did I understand that right?
Yes.
And how they have a connection there with loss.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to be gelling well.
Yeah. He talks about that he took his girlfriend to Paris, had dinner or a table set up in the Eiffel Tower, and then they kissed, but they kissed on the cheek. I'll leave it at that. All right, Swayze and Canadian, though, on the other side of the roller rink, Swayze and Canadian are connecting, and she asks what he likes about her. And he starts off with a nice answer, and then he's like, plus you're always eating. Now, y'all remember, Canadian is the one that Mike was like, how you going to be aggressive and eat at the same time? So, but she was like, okay, you essentially, she was like, you got to be serious, right?
Right,
you can't be playing all the time. And she even looked at it in some respects as he's not opening himself to be vulnerable, right?
I can see that.
He's using the jokes to kind of pull himself out of a serious moment.
Correct.
So they seem to have a good connection. They seem to be vibing well.
Yeah, but it seemed more like a friendship thing.
Yeah.
Is what I'm kind of getting. It's like a little flirty friendship thing. You know, I think he's gonna have to really come to terms with her.
Yeah.
If he's not feeling her, he needs to let her know.
Yeah.
Because I think she's really feeling him.
Yes. Yeah. Because I don't know who else she has on her table.
I'm not seeing it. She already cut off Justice.
Right.
So
Justice cut her off, and then she cut off Justice.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm not seeing a lot of connections that she's made with other guys.
Yeah, because
Mike's gone.
It didn't work with Mike. Mike was like, no. So we'll see. So then at the gathering, so they all are gathering at a restaurant, both the men and the women. And so Tommy comes in, and Tommy got jokes off the beginning. He's like, Moesha, talking about Looney.
I was like, oh my God, I see it.
Yeah. She does look like Brandy.
She does favor Brandy, the singer.
Yes. So he's like, all right, the goal of this is to open up the floor for everybody to be clear, for us to be real, say what you got to say, get it off your chest, and say it with your chest. Jamala is like, all right, let me pop up. Let me call out Randall, or as she puts him,
Rah-rah.
Okay. Again, I ain't calling the boy that name.
I have to get it in my head because I want to say it a different way.
Yeah.
Rah-rah.
Call it whatever you want. All right. So she's like, are you playing the field? You got to make some decisions, because she feeling you, and she know that there's two others that are feeling you. You got to make some things known where your attention is going. So, and then she talks to Shakira. Jamala talks to Shakira. She's like, look, I don't really have anything with you. If we got something going on, let me know. I want to clear the air, what have you. And that gives Shakira the opportunity to then say, she's like, I just don't know who to trust. And that's why she pulled back. She thanks the men for being polite and gentle with her trauma, but she's like, she was betrayed. And Katie is like,
you talking about me?
Oh, wait, is it me?
Are we referring to me? Because if we need to refer to me, just say my name. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to have this conversation. Let's go.
And Shakira, so if Shakira's response was kind of muted. She was like, yeah, I'm talking about you. But I was looking for a little more energy, like, yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, it's you.
Right. Because this is the great time to go ahead and let it go. So I'll be like, I am referring to you, and this is the reason why. And then Katie was trying to explain, well, I was just saying, that we could talk about it because of you. And she's trying to say, but that's not your place to do that.
And then Katie is like, y'all not going to get me caught up looking bad on national TV, sweetheart. It's already happened. It's
because
already
the way
happened.
you handled it, instead of you listening to her saying, you know what, my bad.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I didn't want to take your power.
Right.
If I did, and I didn't realize it, I apologize.
That would have diffused all of it.
It'd have been over.
But because she was so insistent that I'm right, you're wrong, Shakira goes off and has to have a moment where she kind of gathers herself. Trinika, I think, was the one that went after her just to kind of check on her. But what was interesting, you look at the guys' faces, because as much as there was that conflict there, the men are paying attention. The men are looking and saying, okay, I need to understand how you handle conflict. Because, listen, uh, most men don't want somebody that is always combative or always looking for a fight, right? And so, especially when there's somebody that's wounded, I don't think men want their woman to be the one that's the aggressor for someone that's wounded, right? And so, a lot of the guys' faces were very telling, in my opinion, of what they were seeing. They were like, because it was a show that they needed to see.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So she comes back and sits down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, sometimes you just got to slow down and hear people out.
Right.
And when you just like, I got to defend my name, but you want to know what you're defending. And sometimes we are wrong.
Right.
And sometimes it's just best to say, you know what? All right.
We can agree to disagree. I apologize that you felt that way and move on.
And move it on.
That would have been a lot better than pushing back the way that she did, in my opinion. So a couple of them, kind of tell their things. Mm-hmm. Kayla is like, Mike.
Yeah, I want to call you out. Well, come on up here, baby. Call me out. Let's stand up. Is this what is that? Why do you have to stand up with this chick? What is your thing? I don't know if he gets around her and he just loses his mind around when he gets around Kayla. I don't know. So she's trying to say, you know you want me. Why you keep denying yourself, pretty much?
That's basic. That's kind of the energy she came with.
That's the energy.
She was like, are we going to talk about what happened the other night?
Even tell me what mean?
So yeah, so
I was like, Brandy's looking like, oh, hold up.
Brandy's like, I changed my entire flight schedule for you.
I'm thinking all these little domestics when I could be going international.
Miami to Jacksonville flights. Miami to Atlanta flights. I'm not doing Miami to San Francisco anymore. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Oh my God.
But Kayla was saying, she's like, I want the reciprocity. I'm making my intentions known. I want to know you feeling the same way. I want to know where things are. So she called him out. And so we'll see how that what happens with him and Brandy, because he keeps saying Brandy's his number one. But that fantasy keep kicking.
Okay. And he's like,
He's like, all right, let me go sit down.
Right.
Back next to Brandy.
Right. I'm like, dude.
So
you don't even know how to keep it cool.
Yeah. So Tommy dismisses the lady. He's like, all right, we got some things to talk about with the fellas, right?
The lady's like, give me some cocktails.
Yeah, Brandy's like, it's an open bar, right?
I need a tab.
Like, open that up right now. So Mike is like, he says that there's a strong connection with Brandy, but there's something about Kayla, right? Randall says he's got some things about Kayla too.
Rah-rah. What Rah-rah said?
Randall said there's some things about Kayla, but he's questioning how serious it can be and how serious it will be. Justice does say Trinika and Looney. I think Looney's more him, in my opinion. LJ is like, well, that's interesting because Trinika and Looney are on my team too. And then Justice like, I know you're competitive and whatnot, but he's had their numbers, bruh. You just now getting numbers in week 5. So
he's ahead. He leading the pack.
And he's intentional. He ain't fighting. He ain't saying, I'm going to take you to McDonald's and not spend money on you. So I'm just saying. Then Tommy's like, okay, who's not ready? LJ's like, Jamala's not really for me, so as far as I'm concerned, she's not really ready. Swayze says Trinika's not ready for him. Justice says Kayla's not ready. Randall says Charisse, and that starts the waterfall of, yeah, Mike's like, yeah, Charisse ain't the one. Mm-mm. But Samson's like, look, fellas, stop, pump your brakes. Charisse is mine, so I don't understand why y'all got her in the bottom. And then he's like, well, yeah, because when I first met her and when we first connected, I could see how you could get that. So yeah, you're getting the I want to stay on a little longer Charisse Samson. I think that's what you're getting. I don't think you're getting the authentic Charisse. Just my opinion. And I've been consistent with that opinion, so we'll see. LJ says that Shakira's not ready because, again, he's like, yeah, she probably needs time to heal. Mike says something, and I think this is important as well. Mike says, I don't want to feel like I'm always having to reassure Shakira. There's a difference between encouraging, supporting the person that you're with, and always and then always having to basically help their ego, boost their ego,
Right.
help to reassure them. And he's like, I don't want that as a relationship, and no person, man or woman, I think, wants that in a relationship where you're constantly feeling out like you have to reassure. And so they're all like, yeah, it's time for her to go because she needs to go heal from her trauma. So Tommy's like, all right, ladies, come back from the bar. Brandy, put that margarita down. And he's like, all right, LJ, handle your business. And LJ's like,
he did a good job.
He did, yes. Shakira and Charisse are in the bottom. And he kind of just gives some feedback. And then it's like, Shakira, we appreciate you, but it's time for you to go, baby girl. It's time for you to go get some healing. And they hug her and everything like that. So we'll see.
We'll see. You were thinking she was going to bow out herself.
That's what I was thinking, yes.
And unfortunately, she couldn't recognize to do it. And she indicates that a little bit when she in her closing remarks. But I'm glad that the guys decided for her.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need someone to push you to say, just work on yourself. It is okay if you're not at the place where because obviously you want to have someone in your life, but at the same time, you can't be who you need to be if you're not whole.
Again, we say it all the time here. A whole person plus a whole person makes a whole relationship. A half or an unhealed person makes a bad relationship, right? So she needs to be a whole person. And right now she's not whole as far as what we're seeing. Once she gets whole, I think she's going to be a phenomenal person for somebody, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at this point, it's best for her and for the guys that she not be there because she needs to become a better person of herself, better version of herself.
And it will help her even more as a mom. Hopefully, we've heard tidbits, but hopefully for her that she's not allowing her son to lead so much in her home because of the trauma he says. Because sometimes as parents, right, we want to overcompensate for the mistakes we made in the past.
True.
And that means sometimes not leading our children as they should.
Yeah.
He is a young king, but your house is not his kingdom.
Right. He's a prince right now.
He's a prince. And as she heals, hopefully she makes sure he gets the healing. Because a lot of times we work on ourselves and not realize that our kids needs to be in counseling as well.
There's a whole cycle that could come out of that would not be good.
Right. So hopefully she'll look at it for not only for herself, but for her son.
Absolutely.
Because kids need to talk to people, talk to someone too, to work on it now instead of them getting older and have to work on it.
Exactly. Because you don't want him being 30 years old, having to deal with the wounds of what happened when he was 5, 6, and 7.
Right.
So, all right. So that's it for this one. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we missed anything, and let us know whose team you're on, especially if you're a member. Use those custom emojis that you have as a member.
And are we ready for a shout out?
Oh, yes. I don't have her name, but shout out to our member. You know who you are. In fact, she's probably in the comments there, and she's got the member badge next to her.
So next time we're going to make sure
we have shout it out next time. All right. That's it for this one. We'll see you all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.